do, do, do. We're
There we are.
live.
We're live.
Woohoo!
Oh, geez.
Hello, we made it.
What a run up to this one.
We made it.
We made it, and I made it with the book here. So I was working all day today, and I got my book finished like an hour ago. Wasn't very long ago.
Uh-huh. I
Which,
had a
I'm back
feeling
to
that was
mode.
going to happen, Mr. I'm finishing my Sanderson.
The sad thing is, I was too tired last night, so I have like less than 150 pages left, so like a couple hours.
Okay,
Um,
but that's good. You're making your way through it, though. That is a huge accomplishment.
well, I really want to. I said I was going to finish it in November, so I could finish the last one in December. So
Hmm.
here I am. Today's the last day of November, so I got to
Oh,
finish it
you'll
today.
get it. You'll get it after this. We won't be on here that long today. I don't think
No,
so.
yeah, we decided to do this one early, so that's always good.
Yeah, that is good. I'm just sad that, I got ready to get all situated and set up and I was like, it's really dark up here.
I
Because
I've
last
got
time we
weird sight
recorded, it
issues
was
now.
daytime. Like it
Yeah,
was daytime when we recorded last time and I'm like, but it's only 5:30 and it's like night, like
we got
midnight.
another 20 days of this before it starts getting longer.
Oh my goodness. But hey, I'm at least thankful. It was a nice day today. It didn't snow and rain and all the things while being
Yeah,
outside, so it was good.
yeah. There was snow on the ground last night. I looked at the Ring camera, and then I
Hmm.
heard something pelting the window at like 5 o'clock this morning, and I'm like,
Hmm.
"Is that rain?" And then I woke up, and the rain
Yes.
washed away all the snow.
Yes. It woke me up this morning too because it was just, I'm like, what is that? Because,
Yeah,
like you said, you go to bed and there's snow and you wake up. And I mean, like the wind was sideways, there was rain and snow and everything. I'm like, what is going on?
yeah. Definitely
So I
took
just
me
got
back.
up and made some hot tea and sat on my couch like an old lady.
That's okay. What time did you get up?
This morning was officially 6:30.
Oh, Jesus.
Hmm.
What's the
I'm
point of
just
that?
a I'm just an early bird. I can't help it. I'm usually 6:30, 7 o'clock. I am up.
If I can get up at 8 every day, I'd be fine.
But I like the fact that when I get up, nobody else is up. So the house is just quiet. It's still, it's peaceful, it's perfect. It is like my time. I love it.
No, I'll just hide out at my room. It's quiet in here.
But if I make the coffee pot, then everybody starts to wake up. So I have to have tea in the morning. That way I don't wake anybody up.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, we're here to talk about this little book called Red
Dun,
City.
dun, dun, dun. It's so gorgeous.
It
And
is a
then that's
pretty
when you're
good.
supposed to pull it out and you go, there it is. I
Yeah, I
don't
got it
have
right
it.
here.
Mine's on my Kindle. I
For a book called Red City, the city's not really the focus of it all.
No, I'm still trying to figure out that part.
They call it the Red City, but I'm like, I don't know. It's just a little ploy.
But why? I mean, why was it called the Red City?
I don't know because it's called what, Angel City? Yeah, Angel
Yeah, because
City.
it's in the like a alternate LA. So it's in Los
Yeah.
Angeles, but it's not like the Los Angeles we know today. It's like this
And
made
then
up LA.
instead of New York, because they say it at the end, it's Gotham, New York. So instead of New York
Hmm.
City, and I'm like,
Hmm.
okay, trying to pin something on Batman here. What are we doing? It was very interesting.
Very, very interesting. But I would like to know what was the whole behind the Red City because I
I don't
didn't
know.
see anything read by it. I mean, the cover.
Yeah,
You know, what
I
is that
guess
on the cover? Oh, maybe
the
that's the
lion
pins,
from
the like the pins on their jackets.
no,
Is
they had
that what that is?
that was
There was
a
a fox and there was
fox.
also a lion. Is that the lion?
Well, maybe
Because it doesn't look like a fox.
no, it's definitely a lion, but
But they did mention something about how there were like some of them had like a fox and some of them had like a lion. I do
I
remember
don't remember the
that in there.
lion part.
There was some type of symbolism with lions in there.
I'm be honest, the book was for a short book felt really long. Like it felt longer than it needed to be.
Who said it
Um,
was short?
I mean, it's not an overly long book. It's not even 400 pages, I don't think. So,
It has to
um,
be.
it is. It's 417. But
Hmm.
it just feels like 15 hours to the audiobook was long. And there were
Hmm.
definitely some moments that I feel like maybe we're stretched out too long or that we were
Hmm.
just going too far. Like even the beginning, I think we could have cut down um, some of the
A lot.
moments trying to build on the characters with the schooling and all that.
Hmm.
It didn't really add anything by the end of
I
it.
don't think that was, I didn't think it was really necessary. I mean, like,
For
I
as many
feel like
pages as it went on, no.
it was the first 20% of the book.
Yeah.
Trust me, I know. I read it 3 different
Yeah.
times. It took me a while. Like the first time I listened to it, I was like, okay, well, why is this person like wearing heels or something? Like I didn't know that there was two different characters when I first listened to it. So
Oh, okay.
that's why I was like, oh, I was
You
like,
were really
okay,
checked out.
exactly. So I was like, okay, well, let me just put it down and I'll come back to it. And then the second time I read it, I read something like completely different. And I'm like, well, where did I get the person cross-dressing?
Yeah, I'm like, what are you? I don't know where you got that one.
And then when I finally read the third time, I was like, I don't think this is the same book that I was reading. Because I told you, I was like, it feels like a tale of two lovers in high school.
And I was
Because that's
confused
what it
because I'm
felt
like,
like.
that's not what the book's supposed to be like. And then I started it this morning and,
Hmm.
I listened to it on a higher speed. So I got through it pretty quickly on the drive to where I was going and I got caught up and I was like, really, the beginning was like two high school, but
Yeah.
they also come across really strangely young at the beginning of the book.
Hmm.
Like I thought they were like kids. And then
Yeah.
because like he talks very weird and she talked really young, like toddler young,
Hmm.
like 5 young. And then they're like a
Hmm.
year later and I saw her and I'm like, a year
I
passed and why are
feel
you
like
talking like an adult?
I feel like it was more like she was kind of coddled, like more sheltered by her mom because her mom was like straight drill sergeant. She
Yeah.
was all about her school and her studies and things, which
Which
I really
from
liked.
everything I hear, that
Hmm.
is a lot of like Asian American parents
Hmm.
are very strict. So
Yes.
because they come here for the dream as well and they want to make sure that you're
Hmm.
following in that dream, taking advantage of the things that we have here. And so I
Yeah.
could see that. I did like that aspect of it because it's like she's a hard mom, but she did care. And so when we get her
Hmm.
little bit of her story, that was really nice.
I'm not gonna go spoilers, but that was just like, ugh.
There
I
was a
was like, what
strange amount.
do you
They decided, so this is a two perspective book. However, they
mean?
just decided to throw an extra perspective in whenever it felt right for the story. Like you get a perspective from her mom and a
Hmm. Hmm.
perspective from I want to say Will or Diamond or somebody throughout this thing. And it's just like
Yeah.
it throws you for a loop because you're just expecting the two main characters.
Hmm. Yeah, I was really surprised when we got to part two and it actually was her mom's story. And I
Yeah.
was like, well, why didn't I was like, okay, well, I guess, but it just felt like I wanted more of the alchemy in the beginning and less of the introduction of the characters and like I wanted less of that in the beginning, but once you get to like 30% of the book, I was easily flying through. Like things were starting to make sense. There was more of the alchemy, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, this is more interesting. And I was able to keep up. But I'm like, why did I have to suffer through the first 20% of the book?
Because that's supposed to be building the characters. But in the world, and a lot of people struggled with that. The book club
Hmm.
was very adamant about that. I didn't struggle with it, but I
Because you
don't
flew
think it
through it. You
particularly
ignored
well
it and you flew
done.
through it.
Yeah, basically. I didn't think she did a super great job of really building the world. I don't really
Mm-mm.
understand. Like for alchemy to be such
No,
a complicated thing, very science heavy, I felt like she was just like said the words and like gave the
she kind of
basic
grazed over it.
transmutation and then was like, that's enough. We don't need to actually expand.
I definitely feel like she grazed over it because it was like the mentioning of it, or like when she first, did her first transmutation or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, even like the sand part of it. That didn't come until much later in the story.
much later, even though it's in the, I think it's in the synopsis. Like
It
it's an
talks about
important part.
sand and when you read the synopsis of it, it makes you think, like you say, like the Godfathers and the drug cartels and things. I
Yep.
thought we were going to get more of that. It didn't feel like that. I didn't
Not at
feel
the
like it.
beginning. I think we got a lot more heavy with that aspect in the middle and the end.
Hmm.
The two warring mafia families kind of thing, but
Hmm.
I didn't love those either. They just
I
didn't
love that
feel.
we didn't even get a summary of anything. We just jumped right into this one.
Listen, we, I didn't even think about that. We
I just was like
we
we
got
just jumped
feelings.
right into it.
We have
Yeah,
feelings.
yeah, a little bit.
I mean, if you're here, you hopefully have heard of the book, and have a general
Everyone's
premise of it.
everyone's rating it and raving about it. Everybody's 5 star, 5 star, 5 star. Best book I've ever read. And
I actually don't have a single person on my friends list on Goodreads or Fable or anything that's even
mhm.
read it.
I went on TikTok. So I went to TikTok and I typed in Red City reviews and I wanted to see what other people were thinking
Yeah,
because for me to read a book in 2 days is pretty intense because usually, my books are about 5 days. Anywhere between like 3 to 5 days is for me for like one book. But this one, I mean, basically you might as well say 2 days to read this book. I don't know if
I
that's a
feel
good
bad. I
thing or
feel
a bad thing, but
probably read the synopsis, so I'm gonna do that.
okay, go ahead. Because you have the book, so you don't have my made up one.
Every once in a while, I forget that we're not just two people hanging out talking about a book, that we're
That's
actually
okay.
to
We're
tell
two
the
people hanging out talking about a book.
Emily's in
That's
the
fine.
background. She's like a producer over here, like, yeah, you were supposed to do that. She's so annoying. All right. I'm gonna read it.
I love you, Emily.
It says, when you win the game of power, who do you lose? Alchemy is a hidden art of transformation, an exclusive power wielded by crime syndicates that market it to the world's elites in the form of sand, a drug that enhances those who take it into a more beautiful, perfect version of themselves. More beautiful, more charismatic, simply more. And so this story follows Sam and Ari, who are on opposite sides of these warring family crime syndicates in the secret underworld of alchemy, as they are both trying to vie for control of basically the Red City. Each one of
Hmm.
them has a stake in, the mayoral race and the police and the general population, the clubs and the everything. So it's a very interesting dynamic to see the two
Hmm.
families. You're instantly reminded of Romeo and Juliet. You're
Hmm.
instantly reminded of trying to think of another one. I did mention Our Infinite Fates to you earlier because it felt like that. But at the end of it, I don't think that was really a good comparison. But
Mm-mm.
there is that,
Don't
like,
compare it.
the two the two I looked at your rating for that the other day. It wasn't that bad. Um but yeah,
I didn't like
the
it.
two lovers, kind of star-crossed lovers kind of thing. I called it
It was like a friends to enemies, or
I
wasn't that
called it
like friends to
friends to
enemies?
enemies to lovers.
Yeah, because they had like the. I will say, I really did enjoy their like relationship with the two characters because you had like especially with Sam, you had her really wanting a friend. She was always you know, the invisible one and, just
Yeah.
straight to her books and things like that. So I really like that she was able to get a friend and I like that they were like passing notes and stuff at the beginning. I thought that was just so cute. And then when they parted and it says the next time they'll see each other will be in like 5 years or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let's see what happens and, keep going through the story. And I like that when they first saw each other again, and it was like I
It was
actually
on site.
highlighted that part. Yeah, like I actually highlighted that in my Kindle because it was like, oh, like yay, they finally, finally saw each other. They like split ways and they came back and it was cute. And then, yeah.
We had different remembering of that because it was on site when they got back together. They both instantly
Yes,
knew, and
but
it was like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith moment where they're both spies basically.
Yes,
So it had
yes.
chemistry for sure.
That is the best way. But I remember for Sam's, she was like in the ballroom or whatever it was they were at, and she had said, "Well, there was this tall gentleman and it reminded me of Ari." You know, I was
Yeah.
like, "It's Ari. I know it's Ari. It's gonna be Ari." And
I
then
like
sure enough, it
that
says, "It is Ari."
she's invisible to everyone in the world basically, but he could sense her even though he hadn't seen her in 5 years.
Hmm.
Like he instantly knew it was her from
Yeah,
across the room. And I'm like, I liked that.
I
There were
did
some
like
good
that.
ones.
Hmm. And I had a lot of really good highlights in this one too. Just
Yeah.
for like some of the different quotes and stuff that were in here. But that was definitely one where, like when it says his voice is different, older, more mature, yet still unmistakable. It's him. His eyes and his skin, his hair. Like I was just like, that part I did enjoy. Like that reunion. That was great. He's so proud of me. I actually have highlights. I paid attention. See?
You paid attention during that part at least.
Thanks.
No, yeah, I remember that. And there were a couple other good things that unfortunately because I was listening, I couldn't stop and take note.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm like, I wish I had been able to sit down and like dual read this with audio
Hmm.
so that I could take because there were a couple really good passages that I'm like, that's a good highlightable
Hmm.
note. Um, but a
Yeah.
lot of times when I try to do that, I try to like do a voice record, but I can't remember things verbatim. So
Hmm.
I give up. I stopped trying to do that.
That's okay. That's okay. But I definitely did like, I liked a lot of stuff that was in this one. Oh, and how they kept saying everyone is drawn to a strong soul. It pulls and people notice. Some like to call it charisma. You're a little one though.
Yeah.
Hmm.
There's like those undertows of everything. I liked a lot of the aspects of the alchemy itself and like the
Hmm.
world that they have. Like in each crime syndicate there's like personas, and so
Hmm.
there have been multiple Newtons, multiple Einsteins, multiple Shakespeares and Mozarts, and all those
Hmm.
people were part, according at least in the speculative world, were part of the alchemy
Hmm.
history. And I really thought that was really cool because they all have little code names, and it
Hmm.
comes with a reputation.
And like how they mentioned that Zeus and like apparently like
Yeah,
Greek mythology and
the
how they were a
Greeks.
part of alchemy and stuff too. I thought that was really cool how it was just tied into like everything. You know, like alchemy is just not this one thing that we're reading. I mean, I don't know if that stuff is true, but it was just the fact that everything in this book revolved around, the world of alchemy and the secret societies and, it seemed like everybody was kind of a part of it in some way.
Well, my question, because I haven't talked to you at all about it yet, is where are you going to land with the rating?
Four.
Interesting.
I will give this one a four. Reason why I go with a four on this one is because I really did enjoy a lot of aspects with Ari and Sam, and how they split and had their life where they both were developing, growing into like weapons basically. They
Yeah.
both had their strengths where one was, not trying to get into it, but ended up becoming the actual person. And, I just thought it was really cool how they were written and things and how their relationship was. I did enjoy the twists and turns that I did discover, while reading it. But I will have to say, I think it just gets the four because I am tired. I'm tired of romantic books. I am. I would have loved this story. I think the story would have been so much better if it didn't have all the spice.
Yeah,
Not saying I'm
absolutely.
against the spice, but I will
I am.
say that you're like I am. I feel like it took away story. I do. I feel like it took away from the story.
I agree. I gave it a
Hmm.
3. Um, I was feeling like it could be a 4. In
Hmm.
terms of the action
Hmm.
moments, like those were 5-star moments for me. I really enjoyed the use of alchemy in really
Hmm.
creative way, even if it wasn't super well explained. Um, it's just kind of relying on you to just kind of go, if you don't understand it, just say magic. Like
Hmm.
I don't like that, but
Right.
in the moments, the actual action moments, and like some of the kind of shocking scenes where the you can see the true power of alchemy, not just like
Hmm.
let's transform this into this and make money, and like it wasn't like that.
Yeah,
It was
like the
very much
fighting and stuff. Hmm.
used as a weapon and a tool,
Hmm.
and not always in like plain ways, but also like espionage and corruption and power control, all those things.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed those moments. But y'all, there's too many spice scenes.
So too
It's just
many. And there's a
too
lot
much.
of
I think
age
there's
gap stuff in
4.
this one too.
There is, and that's another
Yeah.
thing, which
And
to
why
each
is
their own, but
and
no.
then also it took me the fact that I had to go through, I had to suffer. I will just say that I had to suffer. This is not something I normally say, but I suffered through the first 20 to 25% of this book waiting to get to the actual story. That is another reason why I gave it a 4. Um, and like I said, a 4 for me is pretty good, but I mean, people that love spice and romantasy, I can see them giving this a 5, but for me,
I
I'm just tired of
still
reading. I'm tired of reading all about it.
it's on the it's a spicy fantasy romance because I don't think there's enough fantasy in this. I know that sounds
Hmm.
crazy. It's like an urban fantasy, but like
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's enough fantasy to even keep it in the fantasy category. It's like speculative
Hmm.
dark crime romance. I don't even want to call it fantasy.
Yeah. The only part of the fantasy part would be the alchemy
The alchemy
where
itself.
they have, yeah, the alchemy where um like they were doing the transmutations and the sand. Now, okay, I have to ask. I have to ask. What is the purpose of the sand?
So
Yes,
it
it's a
is
drug. It's a
it's a
drug.
drug because so the alchemists have sought for the philosopher's stones
Hmm.
forever. And so
Hmm.
once they discovered the philosopher's stone, they realized instead of having like a physical thing, they could
Hmm.
turn it into this drug, sand, and everybody
Hmm.
can take it. They can sell it on the market, and it transforms you into a more perfect version of yourself. So it can't enhance things that you don't already kind of have a
Hmm.
natural talent for. Um,
Okay.
so that wasn't super well explained either. It's kind of just glanced over.
No, it felt like just the alchemists itself were, subject to the sand necessarily, but they were making a lot of mentions about how people change, like those little excerpt clips things. They were
Yeah,
saying that people who take sand, they deteriorate and things, but it's like, okay, well,
yeah. So again,
where's more?
why I didn't give it a 4 or more is
Hmm.
because the world wasn't well built. So like they
Hmm.
don't talk enough about the impact of alchemy on the soul and how it
Hmm.
uses basically your life energy
So
to
maybe I'm
make
not
these
a 4 then.
transmutations.
Maybe I'm not a
And
4 then.
well,
Maybe I'm like a 3.5 or something lower because I mean you're making sense. Everybody, Caleb is making sense right now. Usually I'm like, no. But no, you are definitely making sense because it didn't say anything about, it says that it was pulling at their soul or how bad it hurt. But I mean, apparently they were still able to just sleep and eat a whole bunch of food and be fine the next day.
yeah, it's your life force. So if you replenish that, you
Hmm.
can, but over time, it's like any other tool, it breaks. And
Hmm.
so the people who are doing so obviously the holy grail is the philosopher's stone. The people who are making sand,
Hmm.
those alchemists don't live long because
Hmm.
what they're doing is so immense. It's just warping their soul and it weakens their body tremendously. Um
Okay.
again, she like they mention it, but, like,
Hmm.
I'd like to have seen more. I You don't really see the impact of that on either of our characters.
Mm-mm.
So it's like, I wanna know what the impact is going to be on those 2 who one is doing it to be seen and one is doing it to not be seen. Um,
Right.
so, I don't
They
know,
just make
there
it
was a
they
lot of
make it
really
all perfect.
good stuff that just wasn't
I like,
executed properly.
I liked the excerpts in between each. I mean, it wasn't between every single one, but those little random excerpts, like here's one, the studies on the properties of sand. Like those
Yep.
random clips and snippets. I'd like those, but I wish the story included more stuff like this. I feel
They
like we
did
got more
become
information from the snippets than we got from the actual story itself.
Mark Lawrence, a fantasy writer who wrote The Book That Wouldn't Burn and that whole series, the
Hmm.
trilogy. He, at the beginning of all of his chapters, he puts a an excerpt from a famous book. Sometimes they're real, sometimes they're not. But
Hmm.
in them, in that, if you read that first, you kind of get a feel for what it's going to impart on you in the chapter.
Hmm.
These come at random times and they don't play to anything. And a lot of times it's explaining something that happened way earlier, and you're like,
Hmm.
now it's too late. I don't even. I just didn't make good
Yeah.
connections.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
like
don't
this
think
one, it says
four.
non-alchemists are our customers. It says there's a direct correlation between long-term use of sand and the deterioration of the soul for alchemists. Wouldn't you agree? Well, sand has only been around since the mid 80s, so alchemists don't have enough data.
Yeah, the everyday people. It doesn't talk about. I'd like to have seen what it's doing to the everyday people. Are they living? They've thrown away their lives because they have all this glory, but then
Like,
when
are
that
they
wears
addicted
off.
to sand?
Yeah, right? Like, are they homeless, drug addicts? Like, I just don't feel, they're like,
And it
well,
feels
there's a increase in crime, but like there's no correlation.
no, and it feels like every time that I read about Sam, she was taking more sand.
Oh yeah, they take it. That's what I mean. Like,
It's like
and
they
they
take
said,
it regularly
be
like candy.
careful. And this is really dangerous for somebody like you. And then they just take it like it's nothing.
Hmm.
You don't get to see the impact of that at all. For it to be an aspect, it just wasn't
Hmm.
used right.
No, I will have to agree that I wish there was more of that. So maybe I'm not at a 4.
I
Maybe I
don't
need
see
to
like,
sit in my corner and figure
yeah,
out, but it might
think
not be a
about that.
4.
You sit over there and you think about what you did.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's a
It just
complex book
didn't.
that didn't
Hmm.
execute the complexity well.
No. But it read very easy though.
It
I
did.
will say that I am very happy that I was able to, once I got past that hump, I was able to follow along with the story of, what was actually going on. And that part was easy for me. Usually with fantasy books, it's much more difficult for me to, connect those dots. Like, okay, well, what am I listening to? What is going on? I didn't have that with this one. So I did enjoy the way that it did flow in a way. It didn't feel like there was a bunch of gaps. Um, I didn't feel jumpy, I guess
Yeah.
I could say. It didn't feel jumpy.
I've only got more bad things to say. Like, for it being
You're
for
not
being in a
supposed to say more bad stuff.
for a romantasy. No, these are my feelings. This is what we talk about.
Yes, this
Um,
is.
I feel like they act like this love is so true and so natural and so powerful, but like
Hmm.
neither of them was thinking about the other person while they was off screwing around for all those years. And then even when they come back
Not
together,
true.
they're enemies.
Not true. Because
She did,
Sam still did. She wondered about him, and then there was something about not
and
getting a
then old
response or
man
something. And
Reed comes in here, and
not Reed, it was William.
William Reed.
Oh, his last name was Reed?
Yeah.
Oops.
Um,
I just knew his name was Will.
yeah, William. She's just like, she doesn't think about him again, and then
Uh-huh.
she struggles with that whole dynamic there, and I'm like, for the
Hmm.
romance, it wasn't very good. I wasn't rooting for him. I don't like the characters together.
Mm-mm.
Um, I also feel like, I don't know, she did her mom dirty for a while, and I just didn't like that. And but that makes sense
Yeah.
because it works with the story. There's just a lot of things
Yeah.
that made me not like the characters. I will say the audio narration is really, really good. Um,
Hmm.
I did enjoy that. The book was
Hmm.
easy to read. It did go fast despite going slow. Like it felt long, but and then by the end of it, there were some good twists. There's
Hmm.
nothing in here that's revolutionary. These are things that you do pretty regularly in like a mobster, gangster kind of crime thing. There's a lot of power and corruption issues and
Hmm.
loyalty and switching sides and stabbing in the
Yeah.
back.
Hmm.
That's all normal, but I did enjoy some of the moments in that. It got maybe just a little too twisty at the end. It twists too many times.
It sounded like there was a lot going on all at once. And I
Yes.
don't like when books have so much going on at the end. It makes it feel like it's rushed to me. Like instead of like I have a page count that I need to get to and I can't get past this page count, like
Yeah.
let me just throw everything all the way at the end and discombobulate everybody. And I don't like that when there's too much going on at once. My question though, is there a sequel or is this like a standalone?
I'm hoping it's a standalone. I don't see
Okay.
realistically how this is. You're not going to draw me in for a
I
second
mean,
book.
unless we find out what's going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to read the second book, but I'm curious. Is there going to be another one? Like, are we going to figure out whatever happens with Ari?
I I don't think so. I don't see.
I wanted more of Ari. I will say that. I wanted more of Ari. That you know what? This book is getting a 3 or 3.5. I haven't figured out which yet. But the more I think about it, I really wanted more of Ari in this book. I felt that it was just so Sam heavy.
It is a series.
As a series.
It at least on Goodreads, it's called The New Alchemist #1.
Oh
So it feels like it's going to continue on. Y'all, without a doubt, I won't be continuing on. There's just, even
no.
if it gets infinitely better in the second book, I know I'm in for way too much spice. And I know that,
The
um,
second book is always spicier than the first.
yeah, because at that point, you're just capitalizing on the people who
Hmm.
did like it in the beginning, which,
Hmm.
I'm giving it a 3. I didn't hate it, but I
Hmm.
there's nothing for me to keep going on.
I'm just tired. Like I said, I'm tired of romantasy as a genre. I think the only book that I'm looking forward to as far as in that space going is the sequel to The Moons, the Dragon Moon.
Yeah, the when the moon hatched.
Yes, thank you. I'm like, I couldn't think of it. I'm like Dragon Moon, something moon
That
dragons.
that new cover is pretty.
That one's not coming out until April. So I have a very strong feeling that I won't have any romantasy-ish type of books until probably April of next year.
I say that, but
Hmm.
I'll be reading at some point the Things
Hmm.
Gods Break.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do have to read that,
And then
don't
Night
we?
and the Moth, I think, comes out in February. I'll be doing the second one of that.
That's a part two.
Yeah, remember the Knave and the whatever? We
Oh.
talked about this on our previous because you said
Oh.
Nav, and I
We
was like,
did. I don't know if I'll read that. I will need to reread. I'll need to read book one again and
yeah.
really like read it at my own pace and not just to read it so I can finish it for our live. Because that one, I think I got to like the very last chapter, the chapter before. Like I was at the very end, and then we had to go live, and I didn't finish it. But I finished it after. But at that point, I was like, oh, okay, well, I just finished the book. But I need to go back and read it for my own self and not rush through it and see how I feel about it.
The more important
Still gonna
question
keep
is,
it three.
do we need to make a rule where we don't pick romantasy for our book club?
Yes.
I like it.
I feel like there's just so much more to the other books that we're missing out on, like
I'm not
Beartown.
saying we wouldn't read like one that really strikes us as having more of a fantasy romance aspect where it is
Hmm.
very fantasy heavy or something like that. But I also
Hmm.
don't feel like heavy fantasy aligns too well with our book club in the way we do. We've
No.
been doing a lot more mystery thrillers and general
Hmm.
fiction. And I like those books, especially for a book club. There's just
And
more
they
to talk
come
about.
up for good discussion too.
Yeah.
Like I definitely, the books that we have definitely come up for discussion. And I like that because it's something where we could both sit down and talk about it. We both agree that we don't like too much spice in a book, but we love a book that has a good love story to it. A love story can easily be written into a fantasy story, but without the spice.
Now they classified Our Infinite Fates as romantasy, but I think that was more of a fantasy romance. I think there was a love story there more than anything.
That one definitely had a love story to it. I did not care for the book, but however, there was a love story to it.
But just judging from the books that we've read, okay, so we got 13th Child, you DNF'd.
Uh,
Um, Our Infinite Fates, you didn't love it.
uh,
This one you liked more, but I think here's what I found out. And so I
mhm,
overanalyze things, y'all. What I don't like about things, I think you do like. I don't like a
uh-huh.
drama filled, crime filled, mobster, gangster, drug cartel. I
Hmm.
don't like books like that. But like
I do.
you do. King of Ashes, that was the thing that held me back from giving it a 5 is that I just
Oh,
didn't.
I loved it.
And you
I
loved
was
it.
turning the pages.
So I think that's what's dragging you through on this one.
Hmm.
Whereas we both agree the spice was just not. It was just a little too heavy handed and just didn't feel like
It
it.
was.
Like it
And
didn't
it
add it.
feels like, and another thing that gets me is that it feels like there is so many books, and we kind of talked about this earlier. I think it was like yesterday or today. I feel like all of the books right now are so spice heavy. And it bothers me because I don't mind reading spice, but if I pick up a book and it's supposed to be about, perfect example, I just finished a book. This book was supposed to be a love story. This book was not a love story. It was literally smut from page one to the end. And I'm like, well, but you look at the cover and you'll be like, oh, this is going to be a good love story, that kind. No, it wasn't. And I feel like that is so the trend of everything going on. And I think that's why I am staying out of the romance space. Like, I need to be able to see that it is a true romance love story without all the spice.
I don't know how to classify it because firstly, for the spice lovers out there, I
Hmm.
know that you guys are loving these things. This is what you like in books. It's not what we like.
Hmm.
There are too many romance um, specific bookstores for me to be like ignore the fact
Yeah,
and smut
yeah.
have a place in
Hmm.
literature. It's not for me. But
No.
at the same time, I want like a though I haven't read it. I love the way Emily described Kennedy Ryan's things. There's some spice in there, but like
But that is a
you
good
you add
story, though.
to the connection that you've got between these
Yes.
characters instead of you just
Hmm.
being like it's almost like a filler where you're like action, action, action. Well, I guess we better throw something in there to keep the reader engaged.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I feel like a lot of the stories are. What I do like about Kennedy Ryan's books is that, yes, they do have spice in it, but it brings the connection of the main characters or
Yeah.
whatever that character is going through. And it just amplifies the story so that it does feel like a romance or a love story. But the books that we're getting right now is like, it's like, it just feels like to me, everything is smut or spice. It's like
Yeah.
where are the, or you have like the super depressed ones, like I'm reading The River is Waiting, so it's like it's like what side of the coin do you want? Do you want
They're like,
grief
hey,
and
you're either
depression?
sad or you're horny. Which one are you? And you're like, can we get something in between? Shit.
You know, I'm like, I'm really, it just feels like that is so much of the books that are coming out recently. And I'm like, you know what? I just want to find some books. And I'm looking at my Kindle because my Kindle's right here. But I'm like, I want to just find some books that are just wholesome stories to read, to enjoy. I think
Yeah.
I might have to skip over books released in 24 and 25 because that just seems what they all are. 24 and 25 is just either super depressed or, like you said, just filled with smut and spice.
It's hard to find like a new fantasy. Like I was all about When the Moon Hatched. I didn't even realize it was going to be a romantasy. I thought it was
I
going to be a
didn't know it
fantasy.
was. I did not know it was. I will say I did not know what that book was going into it. But it wasn't until I read that one young lady that I keep bringing up and how she was talking like breaking down the
Oh, yeah.
world. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is such, it's a fantasy, it's a whole complete world. And then when it gets to the part in the book, and I'm like, whoa. But it wasn't a whole lot where it pulled me away from the book, though. Like
Yeah.
what was added to it was just the right amount. Some of these books are just too much. It's just too much. It is.
Well, we ranted and raved about smut too long, but I think it's a
We
good
feel very
idea for us.
passionately about it. Okay.
We do. I think it's a good idea for us to stick to books that just don't focus on that area. There are plenty of
Yeah.
other book clubs, and I love our book club, but you can be in multiple book clubs. Like if you need that kind of book, go somewhere else
Yeah.
for it, and we understand. And it doesn't mean that
Yeah.
we won't end up with like a very super popular that we're all interested in, one that maybe
Poppy War.
like our interest in the future, but
Poppy War.
that is not a romantasy.
Right. So I said Poppy War is a very popular book that we're going to read soon. Poppy War.
You sure are outside of the book club. That's all I'm saying.
But I would love to read more like I wouldn't mind picking like an epic fantasy or something like that. Um, I still want to read Priory. I don't know what I'm getting into with Priory. I'm hoping that it's not a romantasy. I don't know at this point anymore because, like I said, everything is.
It is an
Um,
fantasy book, so even if there is
mhm,
romance, there's some romance in Mistborn. I know you in you haven't finished it, but even in the first book, it's not really romance
mhm.
heavy. In the second and third book, there is a love story that kind of
I'm
keeps
so
going.
close to finishing Mistborn. I was so upset that I had to stop reading Mistborn because I needed to pick up this book.
That's why I didn't pick up this book until today. So I
Oh, I
understand
was
how you
so
feel.
mad. Oh, I was
Like
so mad.
I don't mind a romance book
Hmm.
aspect to things, especially
Hmm.
Emily described something to me that I'd never heard. She reads Lore Olympus, which is like a Hades and
I
Persephone.
saw that. She's reading a lot of those, yeah.
Yeah, I think she's on book 7 or 8 or I don't know. There's a lot. But
Hmm.
I said the same thing. I was talking crap and I'm like, it's just smut, smut, smut. She's
Hmm.
like, it's not. There's a lot of yearning and it's all closed door. So like you don't
Okay.
get the graphic scenes. These scenes were and I know the people who read this regularly, like
Open
this
door.
came, this was
It
open
felt
everything.
like, yes, I will agree. Give me the closed door romance. I would definitely be okay with that. Um, I just don't need all the details. I don't. I don't need all
Even
the
one
details.
passionate scene where you've been going with these characters and they're finally coming to this moment together.
Hmm.
You've gone on a journey with them. I'm okay with that for one scene,
Hmm.
but 4 scenes in this little 400, that's a sex scene every 100 pages.
Yeah, it is actually. It
And they were like,
is.
I don't like the words they used.
Hmm. We're not going to get
Like
into that. We're not going to get into that. Change the subject.
well, I have a
Did
question.
Emily read this one?
No, she got it, but she didn't start it. She
Okay.
finished she finished a book last night. Shoot, what did she finish?
I
Then she
saw
moved
she
on to
finished the lore Olympus. She's been reading those. I saw that
and
on
then she
Fable.
finished
It
a book
popped up.
for that, and I cannot think of which
Hmm.
one it is. But she finished another book that was in the fantasy area, and then
I
uh,
think I'm taking a trip down thrillers. I think I need a whole bunch of thrillers. Maybe like January's is all full of thrillers or something. I don't know.
well,
I'm doing something.
the question is, we have 23 hours left in our poll because of a little hiccup with our poll in the book club.
Look, sir, I did that thing 3 times. Okay, it's gonna stay. I'm surprised you didn't see it. So the first time I did it, I put in 2 books, and then somehow my finger grazed over submit, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't want
And
to
you
submit
can't
it.
just
So then I
edit it.
had to delete it. Then I had to go back and do it. Then I got 3 books, and then I hit over, grazed over it. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, finally. I went ahead and I got them in there. And then I was like, okay, it's good. It looks good. I'm going to hit submit. And I was like, I was supposed to change the time on it. So I think with what we have, I
I
feel
don't. I
like
think it's
we
too
can,
close to call it.
because you want Beartown.
I do want beer.
I
I
know you want
we
Beartown.
need to give it another day. But I know for a fact, like Shalane, who couldn't make it today. Happy birthday, Shalane! I think her birthday's
Happy,
tomorrow.
happy birthday.
Um,
Yes, her birthday is tomorrow. She is at a musical today.
which
I
hopefully
think
good
that's
one.
just so awesome. That's
Uh,
just so awesome.
she already read, so it's like, okay, well, I want to read Beartown. I'm probably going to read it this month regardless.
So why don't we read it as a buddy read? We'll actually read that as a buddy read, so we'll still have it. And then as far as book club, we'll just go with what's in here because you did say you were interested in reading this book, and it is not a romantasy book. It better not. Is this a romantasy book?
No, it's a historical fiction.
No, that's why you don't want it because it's a historical fiction.
Correct.
But it's not like my type of historical fiction,
But
though.
what are we gonna do if for some the poll, we can't stop the poll, right? So like, if what if Beartown ends up winning, and then we've already
It's
decided on the
not
other
that
one?
close. It's not that close.
It's only two, I think, 2 votes, 1 vote away.
And it looks like everyone who's going to vote already voted. The people that we talked to.
I'm about to call somebody.
Well, do you want to do a bonus read? We'll read both.
No, I ain't reading both. We ain't got the space for those. You know
We
how
could,
heavy our lists are.
but we could.
Nah, I mean,
How
I'm
many
going.
hours is we could still read Beartown? How many hours is the audio for Beartown?
I don't know. Let me look. I imagine it's probably only 12 to 15.
Because we could still read it and talk about it. So Beartown is 13
Beartown.
hours.
Yep.
And then the Book of Lost Hours, that one is 14. So they're right about the same. Oh,
You
and this
just
is
want to
telling me I
announce it
can
on
borrow the book now.
our live.
Hey, if you don't want to announce it, we don't have to announce it, but I will tell you that I just got the Book of Lost Hours for audio and Libby. I just got it.
Mine says place hold, and it's 6 weeks wait.
Well, I was able to get it with the Akron Library. Do you have that card?
No, I haven't gotten Akron because
You
all
need
the
to get the
libraries that I was
Akron.
getting were all on the Ohio Digital,
hmm
which that means it's not a
Do an
separate thing.
Akron one because a lot of the books I'm looking for, I can actually get through Akron. So add Akron
Okay.
on yours and see if they have it because I get a lot of stuff through Akron that I'm really surprised with that I wouldn't think that I would get. They do have a shorter, oh, not a hold. What is it called? Like a
Like a checkout
shorter,
time.
yeah, I think you only get it for like maybe 14 days, I think if that. So you
Okay,
don't get
so
it as
1 week
long.
less.
Yeah, you don't get it as long, but I mean, hey, if you can still get the book when you want to get it, it's not too bad, right?
Well, I've got them both on here as on hold, and I'll probably end up using my Everand credits on whichever one wins.
I only have one left.
Mine renew on Thursday, so I got to use these last 2 up.
I only have one left. I don't know where they went. Like, it just renewed. So now I have to wait until December 19th to get more. So I'm like, I don't know how that happened.
Well, what's in your saved thing? You had to have used it.
I have no idea because I'm like, well, what did I get? You know how, like, when you're a kid and you go to the store and you buy all the things, and you're like, well, what happened to them? So I literally have no idea what, I think Red City was one of the ones that used it.
Yeah, I got 2 out.
And what else did I get? Oh, for some reason, I don't know why I did it, but I ended up getting Brene Brown's book, Strong Ground, through
Yeah,
there. Yeah, I really like her books, but I don't know why I got it through my Everend. Usually I use those books
that's
and
an
I get them.
easy one.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, and I just went ahead and got it. And I was like, but what did I do that for when I could have got it through probably the library? So I don't know. I don't know why I did it, but I ended up getting it. I do, however, like it because I am getting back in my personal development space. 21 Random House Audio presents. Stop. I am getting back to my personal development space. I was going to tell you what it was. It's the lesson of daring leadership. So, that's me. I love that stuff. You're like, I don't.
Gross.
I love that stuff. I do.
No.
hmm
People at work are always like, "You read so many books, like, anything I should read?" And I was like, "We don't read the same kind of books." Um,
So we're not the same.
let
Go
me
on.
be
We're
clear.
next there.
I'm not over here reading business books, okay?
So
I
then
like
that's
some
when you
action.
say, yes, Ashley has a book that she can recommend for you. And then you
Yeah,
say, hey,
watch the
so and so
podcast
is looking
and
for a book.
talk to Ashley because unless you want to addict your life to Brandon Sanderson, I don't. I'm not for you.
I do have a lot of personal development ones, and I am definitely feeling that pull to get back into that space. You laughed at me, but I said my intention for next year is to read books that, like, with more intention. I forced myself to read a lot of books this
You
year,
said
and
that
yes,
this
you
year.
laughed at me. Huh? I did, but I'm saying I forced myself to read a lot of books this year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna like be more particular in what I read next year. I'm not gonna
I
just go
was
for the count.
I was at the library, and I agree.
Hmm.
I'm trying to focus
Even
less
though
on
you
like
laughed at me,
yes, no, I laughed because you say that, but I think you did
but
accomplish that this year.
I'm gonna get with the hype of everybody. It's like I gotta read this book, and you go like,
I've
Ashley,
been
do
yelling
you
at
really want
you
to read that book?
privately about that. I'm like, stop with the trendy books. Um, they're trendy for a reason. There ain't nothing in them.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
I was at the library today because I was like, oh, I'm over here. I was a block away from my last thing in
Hmm.
Ridgeville, so I stopped at the library, and I was looking for the new Sanderson so that I could just go straight from one to the next and finish it up. But um,
Hmm.
while I was there, I was like, oh, let me look for Ocean Vuong, and they had the Emperor of Gladness, but it's big. So I was
So we're
like,
gonna read it. So we're gonna read it.
no, because I didn't get it. I got this one instead.
Oh, you're supposed to say we're gonna read it
I will
because I
read it,
have it
but
right here.
I'm gonna read the smaller one to
It's
see
not
if I
that
because
big.
you
It's
sitting here lying to
only
these people.
it's only 25 chapters.
Oh, okay, because we go by chapters around here. And that's not how this
Mhm,
works. They could
mhm.
be 100-page chapters.
That's okay. We go by chapters around here.
No. 242 pages for this one. Um, I know it's a depressing story. And
Hmm.
Ocean Vuong tends to write very emotionally driven things. But I'm gonna try this one out, see if I can deal with the kind of writing and style, and then maybe
Okay.
move on to the Emperor of Gladness because it is an Oprah pick, which I know is going to be like an impactful
Hmm.
read, but also that's a lot of pages.
Yeah. I have been reading, so I've been reading The River is Waiting because for some reason it has just been one of those books that's been calling to me. And the day before Thanksgiving, I started reading it. And I'm actually not far from being done with it. I really do like it. Um, I think that's the space I'm going to sit in for a little bit. More of like those literary reads. I do have like Junie and stuff like that that I need to finish from like the five to the end that we said we were going to do. I'm going to get those finished, but I definitely see myself being more in that space.
What was our 10 before the end? I
I know
know
one
I've
of them
got
was Junie and
Sanderson's.
Mistborn. I know I had Junie and Mistborn. I had honorable mention of W.B. Du Bois, the love songs of W.B. Du Bois.
This
Um,
was the anticipated reads, right? Yeah, there it is.
mhm.
So I had When the Moon Hatched. Good Lord, what was I thinking?
After you just say you're not reading anymore.
Um, Title Creatures, I'll probably get through that. Oh God, the only ones I've touched so far are Rhythm of War and Wind. I'll be doing Wind and Truth starting tomorrow.
Well, I
So
did. Okay, so we're making progress. So I have Mistborn. I'm almost done with that one. I have, I think, four. No, I feel like I have 5 or 6 hours left on that. I have to read Junie. I said I was going to read Priory or something in that universe. I finished Hear My Heart, and I have Oathbound. I definitely feel like I can get those in December for
okay.
sure.
Well, I picked big, stupid, long books, and so
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes, you
Um,
did.
but I have Savage Blooms, which I'll be able to get through quickly.
Hmm.
Sunbringer isn't super long. Title Creatures isn't super long. I could probably get through them. When the Moon Hatched might not make it.
Hmm. And if you don't, that's okay. We can read it
Yeah.
again. And I mean, I feel like I'm gonna have to read the book again anyways, probably somewhere in like March, maybe read it again.
Yeah.
I'm thinking.
Because the book comes out April, right?
Yes, in
Yeah.
April, unless she pushed it back again, but it was originally supposed to be February, and then it got pushed back from February, and now it's April, and I even saw something that might be May. So it keeps getting pushed back. So, right, we'll see as far as what happens. But so far, my update, I have read Hear My Heart, and that's the book that I read that I thought was going to be a love story, and
Wasn't.
no, it
They
wasn't.
love doing something.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be. I didn't
That's
hate it though. I didn't hate it, but it wasn't
well,
my favorite.
book 4 in the Stormlight, Rhythm of War,
Hmm.
is hands down the best book in the whole series.
Really? That's awesome.
It's incredible. And like when I tell you, I watched Mariana on YouTube last night, and she was talking about her almost 5-star reads, which I thought was a really cool concept. The ones that you didn't
Hmm.
give, you gave it like a 4.5, but you teeter tottered, you know.
Hmm.
Um, she had everything she had on there. I completely agreed. Where it was
Hmm.
just, it was missing a little something, but she talked about she talked about The Way of Kings, and that's the
Hmm.
first book in the series, and it's basically one gigantic prologue to the whole series.
Hmm.
So I also gave it a 4 or 4.5, but every book after that has been 5s. But this one, that 85% mark, where,
Hmm.
and Mariana even said it, she's like, that last 15% is going to knock your socks off and just like make you want to pick up the next one. This one started earlier. This was around
Hmm.
the 50% mark, and it got so good. Um,
Okay.
and I've been doing where's my thing at? You know how I said I don't like to color. I don't, guys, but
Hmm.
I needed something
Okay,
to
so
do.
you're coloring.
So I started with Emily's book, and then I was at the store,
Okay.
and I was like, I have to get a thing. So what did I do last night here? Here's my little butterfly,
Oh, I love that.
and Sophie comes by and gets it. Look at my flower.
That is awesome.
I had so much
See?
fun, and
And
G's are
see,
on.
talk about
Let's go.
me.
Yes, you
See,
and your
it
Switch.
makes a difference. Yep, that's what I do. I have my Switch and I do have a coloring book. I need to get back into coloring. I do definitely need to get back in there, but I wouldn't actually read while I colored. I would just usually like have something in the background for sound or something, and I would just color. So I haven't yet tried the coloring with it, but am definitely reading the book and playing Disney Dreamlight Valley.
I have to do something that
Hmm.
kind of like I can clean, I do the dishes, I can do all
Hmm.
those things, fold laundry, like do all those menial tasks. And I was
Hmm.
like, but I I I'm running out of stuff to do, like you can only clean
Hmm.
so
You
many
need
times.
something else. Hmm.
So I was like, let me just try. And like at first I was like, I'm a perfectionist, so like I go outside the lines all the time, and it is what it is. But now I'm starting to get more into it, and
Okay.
I wanted a puzzle, but like I don't have a space to do the puzzle
Hmm.
and then walk away and come back to the puzzle. I just don't have time, or
Put
I
it
don't
on
have
your
the space.
tablet. Put it on your tablet.
What?
Yes, there are actual puzzles you can put on your tablet.
That's
Those
not
are
the
cool.
same thing.
Yes, it is because you can actually
No,
have it where you have to like the pieces rotate. So you'll have like a piece where you think it's supposed to go, and then you actually have to tap on it to rotate it to correct one and then put it in the
I could
spot.
never. That
Hmm.
no. I need a
No, I
physical
love doing
puzzle.
puzzles.
I can't
And
do
you
that.
can actually pick how many you want. So if you want like 1,000 pieces, you could do 1,000 pieces, 500, however many. Yeah,
I'm a
I do puzzles on
300,
there.
350, 500. That's like my
Hmm.
top.
Yeah.
But I just don't have the space. Like I wish we had like a little
Hmm.
craft room or a little study that nobody could go in, a little library. And
Hmm.
then I could just have a table in there and just leave it in there. But I tried
Yeah.
it before, and I ended up just sweeping it off the table after like 10% of the puzzle was
You're
done.
like, yeah, no,
The
no,
kids
we're
kept
not doing
messing it up. The cat would take a piece. I'm like, we're done here.
it. Hmm.
So
You have to
coloring
take
is
it.
my new hobby.
I love that. Caleb has a hobby.
My fingers are all. I got out of the shower just a little bit before the climb, but like I was covered in marker, and I always yell at my daughter because I'm like, your hands are so covered in marker. And then I looked down while I was out today, and I was like, oh shoot, I got marker all over my
Like,
hands.
oops. I'm the one with marker all over my hands. I love that. That is so great. See, hobbies are good. I
They
can't
are.
wait to see what other hobbies you pick up.
I love that our live book talks spend like 30 minutes talking about the book, and then we
Hmm.
just talk about other stuff.
Yeah, because I mean, this book wasn't bad, but I mean, it's just not a whole, it wasn't anything to really parade about or anything. Like I said, it wasn't terrible,
I'm
but
grateful I didn't have to try and put all the things I liked and disliked into a review, because putting that
yes,
all into words would have been hard, and it would have
that
just
would
come
have
across
been very difficult.
really
Yes.
harsh, I think. And so I'm glad I could at
Hmm.
least talk about some things.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's always good, and I always have a good time. Um, Hopefully next month we have a book that is a little bit more um evenly split, where we have more that we can actually dive into the book itself, the
I
themes
think
and
it's
things
gonna,
like that.
I feel like we could call it and just say what we're gonna read. You're
It
like,
will
no, I'm
be
not giving up.
either your book, which is what,
Book of Lost Hours.
or my book, which is Beartown.
Hmm.
So it's one of those two. We're announcing it.
Hmm.
Now, listen, if
But we could
Frozen
just
River comes out of
read
nowhere
it.
and wins, I'm leaving the club. I don't want to read that book.
You don't have to
Hopefully
read
it's
it.
a
You could just
historical
DNF it.
on there.
You could just DNF it. You know,
I would
you
have to.
still
I
have
have a
one
DNF.
DNF left.
I do have a DNF.
Hmm. And then mine
But no,
restarts in January. I'll get another one.
I know. So just in time to
If we get another Romantasy, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna read it.
no, because we're not putting them on the polls. No more romantasy.
I can't. I think it's very safe to say that Who Needs Reads is not gonna read any more Romantasy for probably some time, unless we're like, a Rachel Gillick or a V.E. Schwab type of thing where we were like last time, we were like, yeah, we gotta do it, we're gonna do it, we're gonna read it.
We did read
But
that. So we read what, 3 technical romantasies this year. Even though people are saying Schwab's not, I think it's still
hmm
in the romantasy space. 3 this year,
hmm
or no, 4, because we have Our Infinite Fates.
we have Bury Our Bones, Night of the Moth, Our Infinite Fates.
Oh, the 13th
Um,
Child, was that December or January?
that was December of last year. So last year we read just that. And then The Games Gods Play was October. We don't have a November book on here. Why don't we have a November book on here? Oh, because
Oh,
October has two books.
it's because of when we changed it over.
Yeah, October has as far as two books on here, but Games Gods Play was November.
Yeah,
And then you have 13th Child, Spells for Beginning, because that's when we thought we were going to read two books a month. We changed that really quickly.
yeah.
We had Spells for Forgetting, Beautiful Ugly, The Lion Woman of Tehran, which I still think was an absolutely amazing story. So we did have some really good reads.
That was that wasn't in the Goodreads Choice Awards. Well, did that not come out this year?
That was March 2025 when that was there, but when did it actually come out? That book really should have been a finalist for that.
It had to come out in 2024. Here we go.
Oh,
2024.
it's sitting right here next to me.
July 2nd, 2024. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh,
That
oh,
was,
you know what? Because it won, didn't it win before that? I know it won Book of the Month because I had it was one of the Book of the Month finalist ones.
is that where, and then we grabbed it. Yeah, it was a finalist. Yeah, good job.
Mm-hmm.
But God of the Woods won last year's Book of the Month.
Yeah, because I got the pink one.
And then
Mm-hmm.
do we have a book? What one this year? Did we have one?
Book of the Month. They didn't do theirs yet.
Are you sure?
I don't get to vote on them. So did they have one yet? Or does their
Did-
stuff come out in the beginning of the year? They haven't had anything for voting this year.
Year 2024. No, I don't see it yet. So maybe it'll be God of the Woods was 2024. Lion Women was second place.
Okay.
And then the women, and yeah, I remember voting. God, that was so long ago, but I feel like it was just the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Your book of the year finalists, currently, we don't have anything released for 2025 yet. I'm so interested
Okay.
to see what comes up
Hmm.
because they haven't had good books this year. Book of the month was
No,
weak for at least 3 or 4 months.
I skipped December as well.
I got the one that was the Romantasy I had to pay $2 extra for. But
My face.
it's because I
It's
wanted my
pretty.
free birthday book.
It's pretty.
I'm
That's
interested
all
to
I can say
see
about it. Is it's pretty. Because Red City
December.
was the last special book they had us buy.
Yeah.
Because I was fussing about it because I said I'm
I've
tired of
done
getting fantasy books.
almost every month. I did
Yeah,
Mortal Creatures or whatever it is, Immortal whatever Consequences. Um,
yeah, Immortal. I have that one right here.
then I did Red
Immortal
City,
Consequences.
and
Hmm.
then I skipped, and then I did
And then the Silver Elite or whatever that one was called.
yeah, we didn't touch that one.
I have it, but I haven't opened it. Or as they
I'm
say, I have
anxious.
it and
I
haven't
don't
read
know
it.
what
I have it
is
and
going
haven't read
to
it.
end up winning
Hmm.
this year. They haven't had like a breakthrough hit
We'll have to see. We'll have to see what they got.
for sure.
Hmm.
All
Yeah,
right,
because just the 2024. Hmm. I'm interested to see what happens.
me too. All right, I think we're gonna call it. We overall, I don't, this is we'll have one more book for the book club, which will be
Hmm.
one of the two that we've talked about here, which I think could end up being one of our favorites for the year.
Hmm.
Um,
Uh-huh.
right now, as it stands, what would you say is in your top spot for our book club this year? Maybe we should do a book of the year from our book club.
Oh, that would be hard. I would definitely go with just looking at the list of last year, it would have to be either Atmosphere or Lying Women of Tehran.
I'm I think
Atmosphere had all the feels. Atmosphere had all the feels, but I definitely have to say it would either be between that and The Lying Women of Tehran because I absolutely loved The Lying Women of Tehran.
when I think back to it, I like a little more like meat to the book, and I feel like
Hmm.
Atmosphere had that for me. The Lion Women of
Hmm.
Tehran is a very great literary fiction book, but
Hmm.
I was really blown away by Atmospheres. I'd say of ours, unless something blows us away this month, I think it
He
would
like
be
likes a
Atmosphere.
historical fiction book.
I
Oh,
know it's wild.
he likes a historical fiction book.
Oh, we had a One Dark Window last year too.
Hmm.
I didn't hear you say that one.
Yeah, we did. We had it.
Okay,
Well, no, that was 2024, technically.
that's that. I said last year, not this year. Sorry.
Okay. So
But
yeah.
yeah, no. So yeah, Spells for Forgetting in Beautiful Ugly and Lion Women of Tehran was a 5-star read for me. Then I got
What
a
did
bunch
I
of
give
four. I think
him?
I gave Night and the Moth 5 as well, but
I
it
gave
just
Night in the Moth 3.
doesn't stick with me like
Hmm.
Atmosphere did. Like the feeling of like really being blown away, and I think it's because it was a book I didn't think I was gonna like, so it surprised
Which is
me.
the funny part. Which is the funny part. And at the historical element, I'm telling you, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, I am as of today. After I finish Rhythm of War, I'll be at 128 books.
Awesome.
So just 22 to go before the end of the year. I can't do 22 books this month, y'all, but um
I'm at 56 of 60. So
wow.
once I actually put Red City in there, I'll be at 57.
Oh, do I have Red City in there? No, I don't think I do. So I'm at
Hmm.
129.
Closer. See?
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to keep my goal at 60. I feel like 60 is a good goal for me. I didn't feel like I was rushing to get through them or reading too many. It was like, I feel like it was kind of graceful with the 60 books.
Yeah.
I think that's
Well,
good for me.
we'll be meeting to talk about it in a couple weeks because we got to do our
Hmm.
recap. So I think that'll be the last podcast of the year.
Okay.
And then the first podcast of 2026 will be our 2026 look ahead. So
Dun, 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 dun.
I don't know what we're going to do for the next podcast episode. But we got to find out within the next 7 days because we film next Sunday.
We'll see. At
Um,
least we made it this far and we have
yeah,
stuff. So we'll come up with something. My brain will start working and then we'll be good.
we
My
will.
brain works that way. Hmm.
All right. Well, we're going to
Yep.
call it tonight. And then thank everybody for joining us today. I know it wasn't an
Thank
overly
you.
riveting discussion, but
That's
we
okay.
learned
Sometimes that
some
happens.
things.
We learned that we're going to take a break from romantasy. Who Needs Reads will still be here, and there are plenty of more books that have, some stuff that gives us more discussion, and they won't have to hear us ranting and raving about spice and smut and spice and
I'm
spice and
sure there's
smut.
somebody in our club that's like, I loved all that spice.
I'm sure there is, but I feel like we can have so many more meaningful discussions with some of the different characters and themes and stuff that we can
Yeah,
get in some of the other books.
for sure. All right, y'all.
Yeah.
We're gonna sign off. Until next time.
Happy reading.
Got her cue that time. I teed it up the way I was supposed to. All right, good night, y'all.
Night.